Greetings and thank you for joining me on the Victory Independence channel. I was reading an article about college grads for 2010 are getting ready to enter the workforce, and the college grads from 2009 and a lot of them from 2008 still haven't found jobs, and certainly haven't found jobs in the fields that they studied for in college. The article starts off with a young man who had put over 100 resumes in. He got an engineering degree, was applying for jobs, and now he finally got a job as a waiter. The underemployment for the group 18 to 29 is 37%. The U3, the official unemployment from the government for groups under 25 years old, 18 to 25, it's at a record. It's at 19.6%. That's the highest since they've been keeping track of that. And remember, that's with all the shenanigans from the BLS. Now, of course, this number is going to continue to go up because of the 2010 grads, because even by the official standard of keeping unemployment by the BLS, all these people, all these 2010 grads are going to enter the workforce. And of course, when they measure the category of Generation Y, Generation Y, for those of you who don't know, is basically roughly from 1980, people born from 1980 to the year 2000. So the oldest one would be right around 30 years old, and the youngest one right around 10. So, but looking at that group, these are the young people. Young people are some of the people who helped put President Obama into office, and young people throughout history have made significant changes. With our young people having a really high underemployment and even a high official unemployment, at some point in time, I see them protesting in the streets like the people in Greece, like the young people in France. Now, are they going to be like the people who are protesting in Europe, where they're upset because the socialist and Keynesian economic philosophy hasn't worked, and therefore they're going to demand more Keynesian economic stimulus, more socialism, more share the wealth type policies? Or are they going to be like the revolutionaries in the late 1700s, where in the United States or in the American Revolution, where they demanded to choose their own destiny? And I think it's really important, if you have a young person in your life, and I'm sure most of you do, especially in your sphere of influence, that you be realistic with them. When they're going to college and they're planning on, they have a business, they're going to get a business degree, they want to be a banker or whatever they want to be. They need to be more realistic, especially when they go out to apply for jobs, because they don't want to be unemployed for a year just applying for work. According to a survey by the NFCC, 58% of this group pays their bills on time. I mean, that's a lot of people not paying their bills on time. And the average college debt right now is $23,200 when they get out. Obviously, some people much higher, some people much lower, but the average $23,200, which is still a lot for a person, especially if they don't have a job. And many of these people are walking out with 2 or 3 credit cards after college. So they're already starting life. They're already starting their adult life with the wrong foot, They didn't lead with their best foot forward, as an old mentor used to tell me. So they certainly aren't hitting the ground running in their adult life, and now they're having trouble finding a job. And now they've got all these adults out there and everybody on the news telling them, hey, things are getting better, things are great. I can see this I can see this not ending well, with young people extremely upset in this country. It'll be interesting to see how they vote in the next 6 months. Will they lean heavily for the Democrats or lean heavily for the Republicans? You guys know how I feel about that. The problem with those parties is they're both Keynesians, they're both progressive in nature, and they both always favor government involvement. Even when the Republican tells you he's for tax cuts, he's basically saying that he supports government manipulation into the system. Anyway, my point for this video was to, if you know a young person and they're in college right now, or they just graduated college, now's a good time to have a heart-to-heart with them about what kind of job expectations they should have and how many jobs they should apply for. Just because they have a degree in a certain field, they should apply for a lot of jobs, and they should be realistic about what the jobs of the future are. Now, everybody, that's a big question on what kind of degree should people be getting. It's really hard to answer that because you got to remember, because of the way the job market is, and it's really a stimulus market, we have a lot of jobs that have been created that shouldn't be around, and the government is currently trying to recreate these jobs that should have never been. So, for example, you look at the housing market, we have too many construction workers, too many people in the real estate field. And a lot of them are unemployed right now, and they're trying to wait till the market turns around or get back into real estate. But here you have a situation where you had a real estate boom because of low interest rates and mortgage institutions loaning anybody money who will fog a window. And now we created real estate jobs, we created construction jobs, we created jobs to sell furniture, we created jobs to sell housing gadgets. So all those jobs are created. And now that's contracting, so those jobs are being lost. But those people, they still believe that's their profession, so they're still trying to get into it. And of course, you got these new college grads who may want to get into these professions as well. So our economy is really all cluster. It's called CF. If you don't know what that term means, you'll have to figure it out on your own. Because of all the government stimulus, we don't know how many jobs would be being created without the government stimulus. And what I mean by that is, let's say we didn't have this gigantic sucking sound from Washington, D.C., which needed all these loans. Because remember, a bank's not stupid. If you're getting free money from the Federal Reserve and then you loan it to the United States Treasury, yeah, on paper, it's showing you got a 3% return or 4% return. But realistically, if you're getting free money and then making a return on that free money, your return is, astronomical. So what's the point of loaning money to a small business? What's the point of loaning money to an entrepreneur when you can just get free money and you're guaranteed to make a profit? So let's take away the Federal Reserve. Let's take away this giant sucking sound from Obama and the Congress to pay for all these deficits and stimulus plans to help job growth. And imagine all that money that would free up. I mean, just last month, the United States government borrowed $80 billion. That's $80 billion that could have actually went to people who wanted to create jobs, people who wanted to start a business. But it's not. It's going into the old economy to pretend that that was something natural, to pretend that that was something normal. Anyway, I'm getting long-winded. Read the article. Got the link right here. You guys have a great day, great weekend, and, sit down with those college grads. Let them know what's going on.